Slayer. So this one episode was worth a watch. If you haven't seen it yet, go jump in there, go watch it. I think I'm crashing my computer because I'm just like it's so excited. It loves this show so much, so it's like taking all my bandwidth alive. So, so the episode is called "Awful Villain," right? And it kind of threw that monkey wrench in there from the perspective of the demon. Like
Yeah.
the demon was like, you're an awful villain. And we're over here thinking it was gonna be like Tanjiro or Mochi, basically saying, Mochiro basically saying like, oh, these guys are awful villains because they are, right? But
Yeah.
it's like flip the script because it's in their perspective, like demon slayers or hashiras are the awful villains because they're the hunters, right? They're getting hunted
Yeah.
by them, right? So it's like, oh man, that's a pretty good perspective on things. It's not always black and white, right? Because
Yeah.
we don't, as we learned back prior with with 6 and 7 of the upper moons, the brother and sister, like we learned, like they had tragic backstories. It wasn't like they were just like oh, they were always evil, and they're always bad, right? It's not necessarily that. It was turned out to be a little mix of both in the gray area. And that's why I think Demon Slayer does so well in the storytelling, is because it gives you very vague and gray things. Because there are Hashira that we would consider bad and evil, right?
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of evil stuff, but they're doing it all in the name of good, right? So it's
Yeah.
like that gray zone that everybody's walking. Yeah, everybody's walking that gray line. So and Tanjiro is like trying to be the purest at it, right? And it's like, I guess that's why it opens him up to be like really, really good at his art, right? So we cut into the forest. Tanjiro is chasing the smaller smaller level 4, Moon 4. Sorry about that. And so it really didn't give him a name other than Moon 4. And I found that really interesting because it now makes you really think, like, what is he, right? Like, what is that? Is that like
Yeah.
just the subconscious of all the rest of them? Because they gave everybody else. I think it was like it was pride, it was joy, it was hopefulness, and then I think it was one more, and I can't remember what the one more was. Um, but maybe it was mercy or something like that. But like, so it was each four had like its own like personality rate, right? So they all combined in together into one being, and that was the upper 4. Like he combined himself. So that's why whenever Tanjiro was about to take the head off of the little Smurf, I'm gonna call him a Smurf, right? A little Smurf one. He stopped in his tracks because he can smell and he could feel a fifth demon behind him, and he was like, I haven't seen this fifth demon before. And as he's making that swing and as he's like ready to take the head off, all of a sudden it's like boom, he's getting snatched up by his sister Nezuko, and Nezuko grabs him, and she ends up getting her legs and her arm bitten off. And it turns out that this new demon, the upper 4 demon, is this combination of demon of all those 4 other demons put together of the upper 4 moon, and he basically is like, I guess, like the transformation. So this is where I really had a problem with this type of like styling, is because it's like, I mean, it's kind of not original, right? Like, I mean, we have Cell who did it, we have Majin Buu who did it, we have like so many other like bad guys doing it within like the anime, right? Where they
Yeah.
like start absorbing the other, yeah, exactly, and then they turn into this ultimate bad guy, and it's sort of kind of played out. So I kind of had a problem with it. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but I was kind of like, oh, man, we already seen this before. Where's like the jar one, like the upper 5, like that's original. Like
Yeah.
other than like scary yokai
Yeah.
stuff. I haven't really seen that as a villain, right? Which is really cool. And I mean, there's probably out there. I'm not gonna say there isn't, right? But I mean, like, very rare do you see that kind of villain, and that's cool. So they have like originality for the rest of them, right? But it's like this one was kind of like, oh man, we already see this, right? So he absorbed he absorbed them, and to take it back, to be truthful, we already seen this kind of monster before. If you go back to the first season, and he's in the house of mazes, and he uses the drum to shift the house, the spectrum, the dimensions of the house with his drums. And this is the same thing, but he's just controlling a wooden monster. You know what I'm saying? So we already have that. We already seen this kind of thing. So I was kind of played out with it. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you can't criticize something that you really like, then do you really like it, right? So I mean, like, are you just fanboying on it, right? Like, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to fanboy. I want to be honest about it. So we already seen this type of monster before. Guild is basically with his gun. He's ready to pop a shot off, which I don't know why he didn't take it, but I guess he really didn't want to hurt Tanjiro, because I thought he was going to take that shot. I was just like waiting for him to take the shot, or maybe like skim in the back of the head or something like that. But it didn't happen. So Tanjiro is fighting. They end it right there. Really good. It left on the cliffhanger. I was just like, oh Lord, bro. We sort of already know what's gonna happen from the title cards and everything. The Hashira with the pink hair, she's gonna come in. She's gonna start fighting the upper four and everything. So we already know what's gonna really happen, because title cards. Why they do that in the title cards, I have no idea. Because like when I'm watching it, it's like, oh, we already know where this is going. Like,
Yeah.
why give it away in the title card? I don't understand.
I think that's for social media though, because I've been noticing a lot of them put the title card and then they'll put a picture, and people are like on Twitter are like amazed at it, like, oh my gosh, this is what we're getting. I got to make sure I don't do anything at this moment to watch it. And it's like, I was gonna watch it anyway. Like,
Yeah, but why do it? Like, I
for
hate
those
I hate
people,
when
for those
animes do that.
people,
Like, Black Clover like gave away the ending of season 1 in the
yeah,
title. Like if you watch it all the way through, right? And then you watch the very first title card, they gave the entire episode away, that the ending away, and you're like, what the heck, dude?
I still
Like
watched it.
like, I already saw the ending. Like, oh man, it kills it. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just me. So upper five demon. He has a hold of Mochiro, and Mochiro is struggling for breath, for air. He's in that jar. Look, this time lapse must be like a minute, 2 minute max, right? Like, all of this is happening. Like, think about it. I was thinking about it. Like, he's been holding his breath for 3 episodes.
yeah,
Like, legit holding his breath for 3 of it. It's like, with all of this taking place in like a minute, 2 minutes, like, let's say he has really good breath holding, right? So I mean, three, maybe four, but I mean, beyond that, he's going on like god levels of holding,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
Like,
I
beyond
don't think we can. I don't. When it comes to anime, though, I don't critique it as that. Like, I kind of just like.
no,
I
you
mean,
got to
you.
critique it
I
like that.
don't.
You
This
got
dude got freaking poisoned in him, and you're critiquing his air
no,
in the water. Like,
no, you gotta critique it like that, man. You gotta hold these guys accountable for time frames, man. Like, you can't like, I saw this one tweet was that he's actually, so what Tanjiro is doing, he's taking and combining everything he's learned in battle so far. They're saying he's using Zetsu's lightning speed
yeah,
for his slashes, and he's using oh man, I forgot the flaming Hashira's name. Oh, that's gonna kill me. The flaming Hashira before him, the one who died. That he's using his swing techniques for his fire blade. He was using his swing techniques. So they were like matching them together, and which makes sense. And that's why what makes Tanjiro so good in battle is that he's able to adapt. You know what's going to work in that situation, and that's what Mochiro is lacking in his training. He's not adapting in battle situations. He's like saying, "Okay, this is the way it is. It's rigid. This is the way I'm going to fight," and that's what's causing the issue on his end, and that's why he's having those troubles. So he's got stuck. Badass moment was when the upper four was taking on the swordsmith, and he's like sitting there sharpening that 200-year-old blade, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we made this blade, it's all awesome." And he's like, "Nobody signed it, that's just how badass it is," and everything. And he's still sharpening the upper four. Upper five is like, doing monstrous stuff to his back. And then we find out at the very end, in credits, like he's been training ever since, like his whole life, just to be as tough as a Hashira, so that he can, like, withstand that kind of or not withstand, but to show his respect that they work hard, he's gonna work hard, right? So makes sense. Then they finally reveal his face. He's all badass looking. Every girl loved it. Yeah. Fangirl service, right? That they've been wanting that. Then, so that being said, little Hyoko, or is it Hyoko or Hyako? He ends up getting into the bubble, trying to bust him out free. He gets stabbed in the stomach. He then breathes some breath, some bubbles into the actual jar of water, and then allows Moshiro to breathe in. He remembers his father, and then that's why he remembers Tanjiro so well, is from his red eyes. Now, what are the significance of the red eyes? May have been said something in season 1 or season 2 that I missed, but like the most I could so I could think of was that it just signifies the what do you call them? They have the special gift of able to obtain all 5 of those elements, right? I think it was like earth, wind, water, fire, right? And mist, right? They're able to use and combine in all those. So that's why his father was Tanjiro's father was able to do it. Prior to that was in those spoilers, if you haven't known, but it was the original Hashira, who was able to obtain all 5. And then then we learn, like, I'm not gonna spoil it because it's really cool, because it's my kind of favorite. But so he breathes up Hyotoko. He breathes air into the jar. Moshiro is able to breathe, and then he breaks free, and then smack dab did it to us again, and it ends right there. And I'm like, oh Lord, why do you do this to me? Like, damn, you director, you really know how to just catch us in the end. Because I was like, my eyes were glued to that TV, man. I was like, heck yeah, man, what's gonna happen next? And then like, oh, dang it, man.
They got me 2 weeks already in a row. I already timed it.
And I think wait, oh, it's Hell's Paradise. It's not coming out, right? Yeah, no. So man, good thing we're gonna have an episode 8, man, because oh my god, I was like, oh no. So now that being said, what it gives out, someone mentioned to Mauricio has been underwater. How isn't he dead? I told you, like I told you, people are like
you're looking dude is too detailed, dude.
Look, you have to make some sense of this time. You really do, bro, because it doesn't make sense. Like
I don't care.
It's time to fighting these guys left and right, like Tony, like boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, he's been in that water forever. They better have some explanations whenever he gets out of that water. All right, so that's all I'm saying. So with that being said, I give it definitely a 4.7, 4.8. It's like right on that cusp of like almost darn near perfect. What really slowed it down was not originality on that character. Really, for me, it wasn't the originality on the character. We've already seen that before. Also, on top of that, it was kind of like dragged a little bit. Like, I think it's just been a little too long with Mauricio inside the actual bubble and stuff like that. It was kind of dragging. It was like, okay, yeah, we get it. We love you, love your father. Like, hell out and let's start doing something. We've been spoiled up to this point, and we want to just hit it back with a little bit of gravitas in the end, right? Because we know it's getting to that point where they're gonna do the big showdown, right? So so it's called Awful Villain, man. So what do you think, man? What was jamming in your circle with this one?
Definitely wasn't the breathing like y'all are saying. It did have moments where it fell off for me, where like I was like, oh, and then it kind of slowed down, and and then it slowed down a bit, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I would say about 4.6 for me. Seeing the fish stab the little kid, I just laughed, not because he got stabbed, but because of the 3D of it. And I was like, oh man, he's gonna hate that. So
yeah, I didn't even want to bring it up because I know that's my biggest gripe.
Yeah,
when the smoke blew up out of the forest and it was 3D animation, I was like, what for, Nick? I was like, Nick, what for do we need 3D animation smoke, man? So yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like. It was just like, oh man, I saw it and I was like, I'm not gonna bring it up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah, but no, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was an all-out good one. It's hard to gripe on Demon Slayer. So,
hey man, like I said, if you don't have something to pick at it, then do you really love it? You gotta critique it all the way through, man.
At 11 at night, I don't have the energy to pick at it. If you got me at 7 p.m. today, I would have been like, yeah, there's a little. Hey.
All right.
They got me on the when the grill's low and the fire's died. That's where it's at for me right now. I was like, you know what, y'all made it. Y'all made it out, Demon Slayer. You got this. Hey.
All right, man. Okay. All right, man. So. That being said, news on Demon Slayer, anime adaptation hits manga on a weekly basis. A new key visual dropped today along with the new cast addition. Joining the lineup this time around is Kyoichi Yamada, and who that is Spike Siegel in Cowboy Bebop. So he is the voice of Spike Siegel. So if you know who that is, jump on their Twitter. It's gonna show you a picture. He's pretty well known, man. He does a ton of anime, man. Whenever I looked into him, man, he was just like, dude, his list is like 6 pages long of how many animes he does. So and then plus, man, just FYI out there, man, like the voice actors in anime, dude, it's like repeats, bro. Like, dude,
when I see their birthdays and they have the pictures, I'm always like,
yeah, dude, it's like the same people. Dude, like, give other people a shot. Like, same thing with the Americans too. Yeah. It's like, dude, man, so many repeats, man. But Phil Lamar, number 1 greatest voice actor right there, and next to who does oh my God, Bob's Burgers. Who does Bob's Burgers? Do you know? Yeah, he does Archer and Bob's Burger.
God, I don't know voice actors like that. You ask me.
Oh, you don't? Oh, man.
You're talking to the wrong person. I was like, yeah, I know that they do the same, but I don't. You could throw names out all day at me, and I'm like, I don't know who you talking about. I'm a face person.
It'll come to me, man. But I love his voice, dude. He has like the most unique voice, man, and he's a really cool dude. But yes, so that was Demon Slayer news that popped up this week.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.